Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Kbe2 Group A. So in this video, we want to talk about how nonverbal communication shapes social perception. Now, let's talk about introduction to the chosen concept. Communication is a fundamental element in human social interaction. Through communication, individuals share information, express emotions, build relationships, and influence others' behavior. Although communication is often associated with spoken language, research in the field of communication psychology shows that a significant portion of messages conveyed in social interactions occurs non-verbally. According to communication experts, nonverbal cues can account for as much as 65% to 93% of total communication in each conversation, depending on the context and situation. Nonverbal communication encompasses a variety of ways in which messages are conveyed without the use of words. These include facial expressions, eye contact, body posture, hand gesture, physical distance, proxemics, tone and pitch of voice, paralanguage, and personal appearance, such as clothing and hygiene. Each of these forms of nonverbal communication carries subtle meanings that can influence how a person is understood or misunderstood by others. One of the key aspects of understanding nonverbal communication is its connection to social perception. Social perception refers to the cognitive process by which individuals interpret and evaluate others' behavior, intentions, personality, and emotions. This process does not rely solely on what is said verbally, but also heavily on how the message is delivered nonverbally. For instance, a smile can be interpreted as friendliness or as insincerity depending on the context, the consistency of the expressions, and accompanying body language. Nonverbal communication often functions as a more honest indicator of emotion compared to verbal communication, as it is more difficult to consciously control. In certain situations, nonverbal cues can reinforce the spoken message, such as nodding while saying yes, or they can contradict it and cause confusion, such as saying I'm fine while crying. Therefore, understanding nonverbal elements is essential in the process of evaluating and preserving others. A deeper understanding of nonverbal communication not only improves interpersonal relationships but also enhances self-awareness and empathy among individuals. Therefore, this study is highly relevant in the context of today's diverse and multicultural society.
Next, relevant psychological theories or models. There are two relevant psychological theories or models. Firstly, Mehrabian's communication model, 7, 38, and 55 rooms. This model states that communication consists of three main elements. First, 7% of the meaning is conveyed through verbal. Second, 38% through tone of voice. And lastly, 55% through body language, facial expression, gesture, and posture. It's relevant because it shows how important nonverbal communication is in shaping people's perception of others. Secondly, impression formation theory. Impression formation theory introduced by Solomon Asch 19 and 46. This theory explains how people form perception of others based on initial information, including nonverbal cues such as smiling, eye contact, and walking style. It's relevant because body language creates a strong first impression in social interactions. Last but not least, nonverbal expectancy violations theory. This theory states that every individual has non-verbal expectation in communication. When these expectations are violated, for example, standing too close or too far, it affects the perception of that person either positively or negatively depending on the context and who the communicator is. It's relevant for explaining how violations of nonverbal norms can influence social perceptions.
Next, I will present about real-world applications in communication. Humans communicate more through nonverbal means in their real-life interactions. Studies by communication scholars have found that in interpersonal communication, less than one-third of messages are conveyed verbally, while the rest are transmitted nonverbally. First of all, in job interviews, nonverbal cues such as eye contact, facial expressions, posture, and handshake. It's play a big role in how an interviewer perceives a candidate. A confident posture and steady eye contact often lead to a positive impression even before the candidate speaks. Second, classroom settings. Teachers use nonverbal communication to control the class or express encouragement like nodding, smiling, and hand gestures. Students, in turn, are perceived based on their body language. Um, then, slouching might be seen as disinterest, while sitting upright and nodding shows attentiveness. Thirdly, cross cultural communication. Different cultures interpret nonverbal signals differently. For example, in some cultures, direct eye contact shows confidence, while in others, it may be viewed as disrespectful. Understanding these differences is essential for effective intercultural communication. Lastly, social media or video call. Even in online, nonverbal cues matter. In video calls, gestures, facial expressions, and tone of voice affect how someone is perceived. A smiling face can build warmth and trust, while a blank expression may create distance.
Okay, next we continue to critical analysis and reflection. First, nonverbal cues shape impression formation. A person's emotion and personality can be inferred from nonverbal cues like shaky hands, a trembling voice, or facial expression. This impression can be accurate or inaccurate. Second, social perception happens on its own. Perception of others can happen in as little as 50 milliseconds, often unconsciously. For example, we form impression just from a brief glance at someone's face. Third, personality, emotion, cultural factor influence decoding. How nonverbal cues are interpreted depends on a number of factors, including personality, emotional state, and cultural background. Different receivers may interpret a sender's signal in different ways. Next is reflection. Number one, nonverbal communication is constant and unavoidable. I realized that nonverbal communication is essential. Even stillness and silence can be interpreted by others. Number two, first impressions are quick and unconscious. The fact that impression can form in as little as 50 milliseconds shocked me. I become more conscious of my appearance and body language as a result, particularly when I was meeting new people. Number three, cultural sensitivity is crucial in interpreting nonverbal communication. I learned that different cultures have different meanings for body language. As a student in multicultural society, I need to be more careful to avoid misinterpreting others' cues.
Okay, now I will proceed with the conclusion and group insight. In conclusion, nonverbal communication play a crucial role in how we perceive others in various settings, whether personal, academic, or professional. From eye contact to tone of voice, these cues often speak louder than words. By examining psychological theories, we better understand how this signal shapes our judgment and social interaction. In real-world scenarios, nonverbal cues are critical. For example, in job interview, posture and eye contact make a lasting impression. In classroom and online, facial expression and gesture matter. That's why it's important to be aware of our own nonverbal behavior and interpret others' cues with empathy and cultural awareness. As a group, we learned that mastering nonverbal communication is more than just a soft skill, it's a life skill. It improves emotional intelligence, helps us manage relationships, and teaches us to be more mindful and self-aware in how we interact with others. Moving forward, we believe more focus should be given to teaching nonverbal communication, especially in school and workplace. This will help build a more respectful, empathetic, and socially aware society.